Hello, everyone. Welcome to this introduction of a totally unscripted video of the new 2CC Trains Revival project. I'm going to start a new game and then explain what's going on. So I actually want to start with the old NML package, and then we'll have a look at the new one. I'm going to assume you're vaguely familiar with the old one, so you can set the parameters and all that jazz. I'm not going to introduce any of that. So what I do want to introduce is what my problems were with the old set and then take it from there. So it's a lovely set. I think a lot of people use it. It hasn't been updated for the better part of 8, 9, 10 years. The newest vehicles in here, although there's no introduction year advertised, but these are give or take 2000, 2005, 10. So if you play beyond 2010, you get absolutely nothing. Also, one thing that I did not really like was the naming convention. So I understand why the old developers did everything on the basis of operator names and countries. I think it was extremely restrictive in terms of regions. So one of my bugbears that keeps coming up is the MTR 8000. So this is marked as China. And as such, it's only available in the region of Asia and nowhere else, which I think is pretty silly because actually this is a Siemens vehicle. It's an ER20, if I remember correctly, and that vehicle is widely available globally. So the problem that one could easily have had is that if I was to restrict stuff outside basically North America and Europe, there was very little left. So out of 700 odd, we end up with a lot fewer. And if I turn off Asia as well, there's a distinct lack of metro vehicles and many other things. If I turn off Asia, yeah, there's not much left. Not much left because this actually covers the whole of 100 years odd. So these were my bigger problems. So looking at the GitHub page of the updated project, again, why I did this, well, as I mentioned, lack of new vehicles, a lack of modern features that are now available in OpenTTD. We have voltage types now, we have rail types, we have driving trailers, badges, all that sort of stuff. We also have Maglev Cargo and at least one new generation of wagons. So in more details, how's this different? So data has been revamped, recalculated, rechecked, re-everythinged. I know you're watching. Everything has been renamed for the reasons I mentioned a moment ago. Formulae have been updated. That's more of a technical things. Small stuff like MU wagons cannot take valuables anymore. So if you know this pack, this new GRF, it has a concept of multiple units. And if you were to hook a particular wagon behind an MU that does 300k per hour, you can then run the whole thing at 300k per hour, which is totally up to you. I do think that valuables, being such a high value item, are not really belonging there. Also, super heavy has been restricted to goods and vehicles only because it was a bit of a cheat. Wagon upkeep has been reduced by about a quarter odd. I found that it was very difficult to make money under certain scenarios. Yeah, livestock has been separated out. Cargo definitions for wagons have been revamped. They are now flex compatible. which is great if you're playing with Verse or anything else. It has been standardized a lot. So the reason why I have Excel open in the other window is that we now have all this lovely bit of data set, which then Python turns into new GeoF code. So things are a lot more standardized, easier to modify if need be. Ignore the countries, they're not being used, to be fair. So why don't we have a look at the new one? And before I totally disappear from the old one, just note that everything is standard gauge, and stuff that's electric is all types in the old one, and stuff that's not electric is just standard overgrown. So let's remove this and add in. So this is version 4.0, which is what's now available, plus 7 more commits, which is to say I'm 7 commits ahead of everyone else because I'm the developer. The main difference between 7 commits and the released set is that we now have dual mode stuff, which I'll demo in a bit, but I want to introduce the new set most of all. So instead of 700 odd vehicles that used to be, we now have 1100, almost 1100 vehicles as of this time. Everything has been renamed to manufacturer designations. I've done away with the countries. The underlying idea was that not only I didn't like Siemens ETR being Siemens ER being an MTR 8000 vehicle, but the problem we had was historical countries, colonies, disputed territories, problematic territories, and you could queue in two Germanys, the Third Reich, Soviet Union, Ukraine, Hong Kong, China, you name it. Countries that may or may not exist anymore, colony-specific stuff. It's no point. We now have proper regions, and because we have badges, these are all filterable. So you can filter on regions if you'd like, and that's probably a good idea. Other than that, we have certain vehicles that are dual gauge. For example, the DL 531, 532, as you can see. Many of them are either narrow gauge or standard, and now we have naming of what's what. That follows in here. We also have literally 2 counts of dual mode vehicles at the moment. This is not in the production version as of this video, so it's not in 4.0, but we do have these 2 little piggies, and they are very much different on electric or diesel. And we have different visuals, especially this one. Actually, both of them, it's a bit more obvious in this one, the pantograph being up and down and those sort of things. So it's good. We also have Gen 6 wagons, which is great. So essentially, these are for standard rail, any gauge, and they are a little newer and a little faster, trying to stick within physics. And there's also Gen 7, which, as you can see, is Maglev. So we now have Maglev transportation for cargo. If you want, they're still largely within what I expect to be physically possible, so I didn't designate them as anything 400 kilometers per hour plus. If you want to do that, you can use an MU. Other than that, everything that's fake or imaginary is Acme Corp. And we thought, and we here are users from Discord mostly, plus a few of us from the forums. Some of these, as you will notice, have been in the original set. This one is from the main game. This one is from the Dutch trains. I think this one's also from Dutch trains. I don't remember. We've significantly extended metros. There's Elston with and without a H. That's on purpose. There's now London Underground, a little more prevalent on the 4th gauge. That looks like Waterloo and City Line livery. Other than that, we have, what did I say we had? Yeah, Maglev Cargo, rail types I talked about, standardization I talked about. That's pretty much it. I mean, those are the main points. I'm not going to run vehicles per se. I'm assuming you know how the game works, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this. If you have any thoughts, comments, will you please not use YouTube? I know it's incredibly convenient, and I found a bug that should not be blinky. I need to look at that. In fact, I thought that had been fixed, but anyway. So yeah, do not use YouTube, please. I do keep an eye on it, but it would make my life significantly easier if you did not use YouTube. Open a ticket on GitHub. This is the GitHub, easy to find. Just search for 2CC Revival. You can find me on Discord. This is a virtual machine. I don't have Discord on this VM, but you can find me. I'm easy to find. And you can also find me in the TT forums, either at the graphics releases or there. Or if you're so inclined, then there's the development side, which I just kept the old one and just continued from there. I did not open a new one. So yeah, I hope you'll enjoy playing with this, and it's going to be a lot of fun, I think, for everyone. I've actually been playing with this for the better part of 3 or 4 months now, ever since development has started. You can check out my You can check out my YouTube channel, which you're looking at as we speak. There are at least 2 playthrough maps that are going at the moment, and I'm sure there are going to be more to come. Yeah. So let me know what thoughts you might have, and enjoy playing. See you at some point. Bye bye.